All right, hello.
Hello.
Welcome, guys, to a very delayed episode 80, but we are back behind the cameras. We are back doing the podcast again, hopefully weekly or bi-weekly or something like that. I don't know. But we're back after a little hiatus again.
Yeah.
But you know, you get the idea. You get the idea. It's been a very busy couple of weeks for Jenz and I. Mostly Jenz. I've just been doing my uni things, but Jenz has been traveling and then getting a little bit ill and then trying to get back up on the horse and then getting a little bit more ill again
Yep.
and then finally getting back
But
up on
then
the
now
horse.
we're here. I survived.
But now we're back. Yeah. We got through it all. So tell us, Jenz, because it has been a little bit, even
Yes.
since we've kind of like even just sat down and played a game or two, because
I
we've both
know.
been relatively busy, especially the times when you stream and like, I might jump on for a game or two or Siege, but like,
That's not like
about it.
hang time. Yeah.
It's no. So tell me, I'm sure everyone wants to know as well. I'm sure you talked about it a bunch already,
Yes.
but Japan, how was it?
Unreal. I loved it.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Japan's
It's
like
good,
my new
right?
favorite thing. It was so cool.
Is it going to become your personality now for like the next 3 months?
Yeah. I mean, I still have like Japan TikTok and like,
Yeah. Yep.
everywhere I
you
see
just
is
know, like,
Japan.
you just know how like when everyone like you see there's stories of like when everyone goes to Greece and they come back and they all they can talk about is Greece for
Yeah.
like 3 months, and I was like, oh well, this wasn't the weather over in Greece, and like, oh, the food was so much better over, like, they just wherever they travel they make it their entire personality.
Yeah.
Like,
Every
3
time
months
like
afterwards.
we're going out and someone's like being loud or on the phone, like in a cafe, we're like,
oh, that would
Japan would never.
no. They'd be kicked out immediately.
Yeah, it's just so like I think the thing I love about Japan the most is just how clean it is, but also people are very orderly and considerate of other people, and I love that because that is
Yeah, I
not a
guess-
thing that exists here.
No, it's one of the things I hate the most in Australia is just everyone. It's about you, myself,
Yeah,
and I. And
totally.
That's it. Like, doesn't like the thing that pisses me off the most, I think, is when I get on the train, and like I'm on the carriage trying to get off onto the platform.
Oh, and people
People will push through.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
grinds my gears more
Yep.
than anything. I think it hits a bone. It hits something. I don't know what it is.
It's
but
just
it
so
drives me
selfish.
absolutely nutty.
Like,
it is.
there is no need for you to barge in. If anything, it makes the whole procedure worse because
It makes it so much more awkward. like,
awful.
because it's dangerous too. Because like most of the time, there's like pretty decent gap at the platform.
Yeah.
Like, so it is relatively dangerous. But yeah, that's the thing I think that grinds me the most.
I get that. Yeah.
Because it's among other things, but
Yeah.
just one of many examples. But no, it is. It's very different going over there, and also trying to have to like somewhat adapt, I guess, as well.
Yes. But it wasn't that
because it's
bad. Like,
no, it's not. I feel like everyone clicks on pretty fast. 'Cause,
yeah,
like you
it's
see it, and
all
it's like
unspoken.
no one wants to stand out. Yeah. It's like a very much an unspoken rule, but
But I love
like,
it. Like, it was
I
so
talk-
on the ball. Like, yes, this is exactly
Yeah.
what we should be doing.
yeah, exactly. It makes sense as well. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's why it's so natural to a lot of people and why they pick it up so fast is because like once you do it once, you're like, you know what? That's actually a better way of doing it. Like,
Yeah, totally.
I agree.
And like the number of times we're like looking at foreigners who are being inconsiderate, I'm like, ugh, I hate foreigners.
It does. It gets on you.
Yeah.
It gets on you.
But yeah, it was amazing. I can't wait to go back. Definitely gonna go back.
Yeah.
For sure.
100%. It's one of those places that you just can't do it all in one trip.
No,
Like,
you go back and do
it's
more and
impossible.
more.
Yeah, you have to. I feel like I'm same with a lot of places, I'm sure, but
Mm.
there's just so much crammed into such a small area. It's insane.
Yeah,
It's insane.
the density of Japan, like we were like going around, you could not, even if you lived in Japan, you could not eat at every single restaurant while
No,
you're living in
no.
Japan. There's just so
Yeah.
much.
There's because they're just like they have such small little blocks of land and
Yeah.
building blocks and things like that it is they find ways to cram all these little buildings and businesses together.
Yeah, it's
Um,
crazy.
And so you go into these little ramen marts or these little ramen bars and things, and it's like they seat 5 people.
Yeah.
Like that's
I
that's it.
love
You
that
know?
though. I love how intimate it
Yeah.
is. It's so nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
It
also
is.
I found in Japan, people will happily wait in lines. Like
Yeah.
half an hour,
Because I
1 hour,
think
2 hour, 3 hour line for anything, they will do it.
because I think again it's somewhat expected of them. Like
Right.
it's I feel like it's they know that it's a part of their life over there.
Yeah.
That queuing is gonna happen. So they're like, okay, cool,
They just
take it on the
accept
chin. I
it.
agree with it. Like, yep, this is how
Yeah.
it's gonna be.
And they're not
You know?
shitty about it. Like, I remember I
No.
lined up for this incredible ride in Universal. It was the only one that I didn't have on my express pass, and it was like one of the most popular ones. And so like the single rider like was 2 hours, and then the group one, the normal one, was 3 hours. And people were happy, like going through. They were so happy just to be there. They didn't care how long the line was. It was so
Yeah.
cold, and like no one was stroppy. It was amazing. Like in Australia, like I feel like if you're in a line, someone behind you is like huffing and puffing, like, oh,
I was
come
gonna say
on,
the
like,
amount of times you hear someone go, oh,
I know, and I hate it because they're trying to get you to feel that, and I'm like, bro, oh no, like, keep it to yourself. So yeah, it was so amazing to see just like groups of people going to this and just not a single complaint on their face. It's like amazing.
Yeah. 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 No, it is. It's a totally different experience.
Yeah.
Totally different.
Love it.
But in all that as well.
Well, what have you been up to?
Nothing. Boring stuff, honestly. I've been doing C programming because that's my last unit for uni, and that's all I've been doing for the past couple of weeks.
Is this your last
so
semester?
Hopefully.
Okay, fingers crossed.
My last overall thing for uni. So yeah, fingers crossed, knock on wood, anything that is good juju that will make me pass is definitely appreciated. Because it's
That's
hopefully
exciting.
my last thing. So yeah, it is very exciting. It's also very nerve wracking because I have no idea what I want to do.
Yeah, now you're gonna
afterwards.
figure out
So
what
one
you're
of
gonna
those things
do.
that it's like, ah, shit, now I got that next hurdle.
Yup.
So it's that's what I've been mostly doing the last couple of weeks and things. Also, we've been on our little hiatus.
Oh yeah, you did like
really
little
been playing too
trips.
much. Like we did like little things. Like it's nothing crazy.
Yeah, nothing new has been coming out, to be honest, except for Resident Evil.
Resident Evil is the newest sort of like big thing that's come out, I guess. I have been playing. I did go back to Mario Kart as well a little bit because they brought out that last wave, the wave 4 of their DLC maps and things like that. So we played a little bit of that, which is another hint for something that's coming up a little bit later in the episode. I'm sure most of you are aware of the big thing that's come out, but yeah, the next thing I'm waiting for is it totally snuck up on me, but Jedi.
Oh yes,
the latest Jedi survival game is coming out
end of this month.
Yeah, it's in like 2 weeks or something like that. So
yes,
EA's doing and Respawn's doing their last big sort of like marketing push for it, and obviously with Star Wars Celebration going on over in Europe at the moment. I think it's in London,
really?
if I'm not mistaken. They've been doing like a whole big sort of thing. They had the actor that plays Cal over there, and he sort of revealed the last gameplay trailer, and so on and so forth. So it's
cool.
it's all been hit my feed, and that's what I'm most excited for coming up.
And of course,
I haven't had a chance to pick up Resident Evil yet. So
Tears of the Kingdom.
Yes, yeah, I put a pre-order down for the collector's edition of that at the end of last month, I think, because we're getting it through work. So I was like, yep, easy done. I'll put my name down for that bad boy.
I gotta Google the I think it'll be out, but what's in the collector's edition, Zelda?
So in the collector's, you get a steel case, obviously. You get an art book. You get like some little badges or pins.
Oh my god, it's not $400.
It's pretty low key. It's not like a major collector's. So it comes with a replica of like the Master Sword or something like that.
Oh yeah, and you get
a pretty chill
poster.
It's a pretty chill collector's edition. Yes, yeah. I'm sure you'll get like a fold-out map or something as well. I would assume, at least. I'm not sure, but it's a pretty chill little collector's edition. But it's because Emma absolutely loves them, so that's going to mostly be for Emma, and I'll just pick up a standard copy for myself because there's no point in us having 2 collector's editions when it both comes with the same thing. So, but yeah, that's also coming out just around the corner, and that will take up a lot of our time.
So excited. I low-key was thinking about upgrading to the OLED Zelda one,
Yeah.
It's fun, but it's not amazing.
No. No, it's I don't think it's a style for me either, cuz like I don't like I like Zelda. I
Yeah,
don't love Zelda. You know, it's not like my bread and butter of Nintendo games. I still feel
fair.
like Mario is for me, so like, going and getting a collector's edition that's dedicated to just a single character is probably a bit much, but it's still pretty cool. I've seen a lot of people that are excited about it, so
Yeah, there are a lot of
that's
people
something fun and
excited.
funky, I guess. Yeah, but no,
Anyways.
there's a lot coming out soon. There's also Dead Island 2 coming out
Oh
just
yeah,
around the corner
that's
as well, which I'm very
next
excited
week.
for. Yeah, that I will be picking up for sure because I've been waiting for that since like 2014 when they announced it or something, almost 10
Yeah,
years
it's
now.
been a while since they announced it, so
Crazy,
I'm
crazy.
curious.
Yeah,
That's a four-player game.
I think it'll be. I think it's a 4-player co-op game. So yeah,
Yeah.
we should definitely have a go at slaying some zombies together for
Oh,
sure,
show.
for sure, for sure.
Well, shall we begin the news?
I think so. I think a 10-minute catch up is pretty decent, and we'll jump straight into the news. Now, I'm sure as well, because we've been away for a little bit of a hiatus, I'm sure that some of these news topics you guys have already heard
Absolutely.
about, but we're also just going to go over a couple of things that we missed in our little break as well, just so we can give our thoughts on them too, because it wouldn't be a podcast if we just read the news and then didn't give our thoughts on it, you know?
Yeah,
So that's it.
exactly.
First
Uh,
things first, Jens.
yeah.
This is a massive one.
Hmm.
Now, somewhat expected, somewhat still a shock, but E3 just got cancelled
Yeah.
a couple of weeks back, which I personally was not expecting to happen this year.
No,
I
because
thought it would
they
happen
announced that
like
they're going to plan to do
that's
E3.
what I mean. They were like, okay, E3's happening on these dates, this time, at this location. Tickets will be available next week or something like that. And then the week came and they were like, actually, psych, E3's cancelled.
Yeah.
Um, so thankfully, no one. Thankfully, tickets weren't actually released. They had to go through the whole rigmarole of like getting ticket
Yeah,
refunds
imagine.
and all that sort of stuff. Because then people would probably be out like $150 for a couple of weeks, and
Although,
it's
if anyone
yeah,
did like pre-order, plane tickets or
true,
hotels, that would
true,
suck.
yeah, true, true. So it's one of those things. That's why I always usually wait a little bit until I'm a little bit closer to the event to
Yeah.
actually book everything,
Yeah.
just in case, just in case. Um, But yeah, so this info first got leaked via an email, which was sent by ESA to its members and then got obtained by IGN somehow. Who knows? But E3, quote, simply did not garner the sustained interest necessary to execute it in a way that would showcase the size, strength, and impact of the gaming industry, the message said. E3's cancellation follows, after a couple of months of rumors that the state of the event was probably in some sort of disarray, and also that major publishers like Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, and so on and so forth have all skipped the event the past couple of years anyway.
Yeah.
So it was
And they
kind of
announced that
like
they were going to skip the event too.
yeah, they very directly announced like, hey, look, we're not going. We're doing our own thing this year, like we did last year and the year
Mm,
before that. So like, don't expect to see us on any sort of
yeah.
presence. Because the thing is too is like, yes, you cannot have a showcase. You don't have to do an hour-long presentation, but some of them still might have had floor presence. Like they might have had an Xbox booth or a Sony booth or
Yeah.
something like that. But they even decided that no, we're not even doing that this year. We're not even going to rent space altogether. So I think that was probably one of the last things that was kind of holding E3 together. And so yeah, that was probably the final nail of the coffin.
Well, the
Um,
final nail might have been Ubisoft also backing out
true, true, because yeah, Ubisoft
last
did just
minute.
come out as well and say that actually, you know what, we're going to follow suit Japan that one too. So it's yeah, because to be fair, like I think Ubisoft was one of the only major like
Yeah.
development studios that still did E3, because I think EA does their EA
Oh yeah,
Play
EA's
event, like a totally different one again, or the State of Play, whatever they
State of
call
Play,
it.
yeah.
Sony obviously does their State of Play as well. Microsoft does their directs, and same with Nintendo and things.
Yeah.
So it's I'm pretty sure Ubisoft was one of the last major sort of ones to stick around. So it's
It's a pretty
it
big
is somewhat
blow.
sad. It is a pretty big blow to the whole industry. They did say that there's a chance they come back at some point in the future. They didn't just like totally cancel it and say this is E3 done for good forever. Like
Yeah.
they did say we're looking forward to the future to see what all the other type of events they can hold, whether it be multiple smaller ones throughout the year at different locations so they can kind of spread it out, or if it's more they're focusing on online events these days, which has become the norm. because it's a lot easier, I guess. It's yeah. So E3 will still definitely be a thing, just not this year.
I wonder if this will then set a precedent for a lot of other events like PAX. Because
See,
like
I feel like PAX is safe because PAX does the global thing, where they do like there's multiple events held throughout the year, all at different
yeah,
locations. So it's a little bit easier for fans to get to those events. You know,
yeah,
there's one E3 a year. It's
that's
held
true.
in the same location each time. It makes it a lot harder for people to get there because it's quite expensive too. Whereas for PAX, you just wait for your local PAX to come around. You know,
Yeah,
and
it
then you just
just
go to the one that's maybe not in your state, but in your same country, like in the adjacent state or something. It's
yeah,
a lot cheaper of a trip. Yeah.
yeah. It was just a shame not to see any like publishers on the show floor last PAX. It was
Mm.
all like peripherals. So
It was all companies. It was all you
yeah,
know, sort of yeah. They were selling
and like
things rather
indies
than
and stuff.
showcasing
So
things.
which indies are
Yeah.
always great to have and they'll always be there. But like
I definitely recommend everyone at any gaming event check out the indie hall or the
yeah,
indie space
they're
because
a hidden gem.
there's hidden gems in those things. Yeah, and you can just talk to the developers as well, which is fun. Like every time you go to the EA booth, you're not talking to the mean writer at the Star Wars
Exactly.
game. You're talking to like
The actual
not even a
person.
salesman. You're talking to like a rep, someone that's been hired to be there.
Yeah.
Whereas yeah, the indie ones they always have like the developer. They got the art guy there.
Yeah,
They
they
got
got the
the
actual person who
they
worked on
got
the
someone
game,
there from the studio.
which is
Yeah,
awesome.
which is a lot more fun. Yeah.
But
So
yeah,
it's yeah.
well, sad for E3, but
Yes.
with other companies being able to do their own thing, Nintendo have also announced that they're going to do live person event for September in Seattle.
Yeah.
I'm low
This
key
is
would love to
this is
go.
interesting. This is
Um
interesting because I was thinking the same thing.
yeah,
Like,
maybe we could go.
what a fun experience.
Nintendo is usually just does online events. So this is like one of the first in-person event they're gonna hold, which
Yeah,
is very exciting. For some reason, it's in Seattle over Japan, but sure, we'll allow that.
yeah,
Japan would be so much
yeah,
better, but oh well. Nintendo said there will be a wide variety of Nintendo game inspired activities available in a large scale themed area, which is very exciting to like see all
yeah,
this Nintendo IP come to life.
yeah. I'm sure they'd fly out like all their statues and dioramas and things
Yeah,
like that and have it all look really cool rather than just hiring out a hall and putting a couple of Nintendo
yeah,
logos up on the
it'd be
wall and things.
it'd be sick. I bet.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, there is no information on any dates or tickets and all that jazz, or what exactly the
mm.
event will hold. But Nintendo said they will announce that in the near future. So keep an eye out if you
Yeah.
fancy a little trip to Seattle. That'd
I
be
mean, it
fun.
does as well. Again, kind of going on like the PAX thing, it does seem like they're sort of traveling this around because it did debut last year in Japan.
Mm,
After the whole COVID thing, which would have been just a Japanese event because back
yeah,
then Japan, I don't think was taking uh, any
yeah, that's
tourists.
right.
So it does seem like they are traveling it around. Who knows if it's just going to be like the major sort of areas, like they'll do it in Japan, they'll do it in the US, and they'll go over and do it in Europe, and then just cycle those three.
Yeah, I
Which would
wonder.
kind of suck for us down here in Australia because it still means that regardless, we've got to travel overseas somewhere.
Or
Um,
universal locations, which is
that's
Japan,
true. That's
America,
true.
and
Yeah,
Singapore.
that's true. So there is, yeah, they could be doing that. Um,
Potentially.
it's it's potentially like we said, it's all still early days for this as well.
Mm.
But it is, yeah, it's interesting that Nintendo, like Jen said, after sort of being the company, I guess, most synonymous with doing online
Yeah.
events strictly, because they kind of started, I guess, the whole direct thing. Even well before COVID was a thing and everyone sort of had to do it, they were doing their online directs because it was just probably cheaper and easier. They didn't have to
Yeah,
hire out things. They
totally.
don't have to rent. They don't have to do all that stuff. They just get a studio and just go to work. So it's interesting seeing them basically flip and now do in person events each year. When they're kind of dying off, as we've already just seen. Like
I think
I
still there would
this
be a
is different.
huge
This is
interest. Yeah,
yeah.
because it's very
This is
different.
very different. This is more of a fan experience than it is like a a
Press
showcase for
conference.
upcoming games and things like that. Yeah, like a press conference. It's, people aren't going there to see announcements for the latest Zelda game. They're going there to see, you know, everything Nintendo's got.
Yeah,
Like,
experience Nintendo.
yeah. So it's, yeah, very interesting. It'd be cool to see them like live stream a lot of this stuff, which I'm sure they
I
will
think they
as well.
would.
The
If there
stage
were any,
performances and
yeah,
shows and
stage
things like that.
stuff.
Those would, yeah, more than likely be streamed as well. Because it's, yeah, that would kind of be silly not to. But yeah, very interesting. Moving on though, this is something that piqued my interest because we both own VR headsets, but it's one of those things that, like, even before I got mine, seeing a lot of these VR games not be playable without a VR headset kind of sucked. Which might sound silly to some because that's kind of the whole premise of VR games, but there are some games like Half-Life Alyx which very much segmented the market when they came out because not a lot of people had VR headsets, and not a lot of people were also going to buy VR headsets just for one game. They're going to buy them for multiple sorts of games and things, similar to like a console. You're not going to buy a console just for one game, typically, I say. But, it's, yeah, usually to buy for a couple of things. And so when Half-Life Alyx came out, Half-Life obviously being a major one of Valve's IPs, a lot of people were a bit pickled in the fact that they wouldn't be able to play it without a VR headset. It's been out for a couple of years now. It came out in like 2020, I think it was, or
about that, yeah.
2019. It was
Before
around that time.
COVID.
So it's, yeah, right before COVID type of a thing. So it has been out for a couple of years, which has given people a couple of years to pick up a headset. But if you still haven't managed to, fear not, because
You don't have to.
someone has made a mod for Half-Life Alyx that you can just play it on a PC like you would a normal first-person shooter, which is kind of incredible. Because some of these headsets, they're a couple of $100 for like the Quest 2 or something like that, but they can also push into the thousands of dollars for like your HTCs and your higher end headsets.
Yeah, they're
and
quite
things.
an investment.
They're yeah, very much so an investment. They're heavy expense. So it is, a big jump to sort of go for it. But this mod from GB2 development team, as they're called, hit a major milestone just earlier this week after being out for some time now. So this mod has been out for a little bit, but they've been slowly building onto it as time goes on and things. And the major milestone for the mod is that it now finally lets players play Half-Life Alyx from start to finish like a traditional first-person shooter game.
That's great.
So previously, I think they would have been doing like sections or segments of the game and sort of slowly adding onto it and things like that. But now, if you wanted to, you could theoretically purchase Half-Life Alyx. You still need to obviously own the game, get this mod, and then you can play it from start to finish, basically. All of the game's interactive elements, so for those that have played it, like the gloves, the combine fabricators, weapon upgrades, so on and so forth, which traditionally obviously required VR-like interaction, so moving your hands, into upgrade stations, pulling things towards you, etc., can now be done without the need for special VR controllers.
Amazing.
Development of the mod, though, is still ongoing. But at the current time, you can download Alyx, load the mod, like I said, and then play the game from start to finish, probably with a good handful of bugs and sort of issues and things. I haven't yet played it, mostly because I do have a headset that I've played Alyx with, so like I don't really feel the need to.
Yeah.
But I might actually just give this mod a go just to see how it sort of works.
Feels,
being able to play both the VR version and then the non-VR version would be kind of interesting.
I wonder if it'll change the feel of the game.
I'm sure it would. Because I feel like the whole reason that they did Half-Life Alyx in just VR was to make it a lot more immersive, obviously, which a lot of VR games sort of, that's their main tagline, is immerse yourself in the game, basically. I'm sure it will, not so much just like the control schemes, but like the whole atmosphere of the world, because I felt like that was one of the more powerful things of playing it in VR, was literally being in the Half-Life world.
Yeah,
universe,
totally.
Being able to look around you and see all those sorts of things. But also, like, the tiny little interactions that you did really made it feel a lot more alive. So, like, picking up those water bottles and being able to see the water in them, like, flow how it normally would. Like, writing on the walls with the permanent markers and things like that was just those funky little interactions you obviously lose with, just a keyboard, a mouse, or a controller, I guess. So it's great for people that don't want to have to fork out a lot for a headset, which I totally understand, because it gives you the chance to pick up the game and play it, like you normally would to a certain degree. I'd also say maybe wait for a sale for Half-Life Alyx because it routinely comes down to like $40, $50 or something like that, which is half off here in Australia.
It's 80,
Normally it's like
right? Oh
$99.
my
It's
god.
quite expensive. It's quite expensive.
That is
Um,
expensive.
so it's because you think if you got to pick up like a Quest 2, which is your cheapest, most accessible
Yeah.
headset at the moment, that's like $700
Plus
plus another
game.
80 or $90
Oof.
easily. That's almost $800. You
Rough,
know,
rough, rough.
so it's quite expensive. But yeah, pick it up on a sale, and then pick up the mod, load that bad boy up. You've basically got yourself a VR game that you can play with keyboard and mouse, which is kind of fun.
I'm curious
Kind of
if
fun.
more and more games will do this and go this route, but I guess we'll
Yeah.
see.
I'm curious if, let alone just this development team, would go on to do
Yeah.
maybe some other major VR games after this as well. I know that the Half-Life games in particular, like with a lot of Valve games, are quite mod friendly, because they're all made in like the Source engine or something very similar to it, which is readily accessible. And Valve also kind of very much promotes a lot of their mod
Which
community.
is very
You know,
nice
it is.
because
They
the
can be a little bit of an asshole sometimes, but most
right.
of the time they're pretty good to them. Most of the time. Um, so it's very interesting to see what would come of all this. But it's still in development. They're calling it. They're technically calling it the 1.0 release, so it is officially available and out. But they will still be working on it to like tweak things.
Yeah.
Obviously. So yeah, very interesting.
Moving on. April Fools had happened and a lot of companies jumped on board the April Fools train, but Sega killed Sonic and you can play it as a game. The game takes a visual novel format and opens with Sonic dying on the Mirage Express during Amy Rose's murder mystery party held to celebrate her birthday. And it's up to you to find out who killed Sonic and what sinister things are afoot. And it sounds pretty cool. Like,
I added this to my Steam library. I
same.
haven't yet had a chance to play it, but I was like,
I think I
this sounds
downloaded it.
fun.
It's
Yeah.
free on Steam, just by the way.
It's totally free. So,
But
give
yeah,
it a go.
it's a playable game. Like, it's amazing that they actually crafted a game for an April Fool's joke. It's amazing.
It's cool that companies as big as Sega and things like that are getting a lot more on board with it. Like a lot of them just do like an advertisement, like a fake advertisement, like, oh, check out our new
and like
keyboard, which
sometimes
has
they can be really good.
195,000 keys. Like, the Corsair one was cool. I will give props to Corsair. Their little
the
fidget spinner keycap set thing.
Yeah,
that would actually be usable. So like Corsair, please actually make those. I know they made I think they had 20 or 30 sets or something, which they were giving away for free if you entered a competition.
Oh, really? Oh, funny.
Legitimately make those. They sound fun. Like putting a fidget spinner on my escape key. Come on. When I'm waiting to load into a game,
just roll that bad boy. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
That'll be fun.
But yeah, a lot of the companies do like just an ad like that basically, and they might make a couple of demo models, but like actually making a full product like this, as much as it's still a joke, is kind of cool.
Yeah, I love that. So I'm very curious to check it out and see what the game's all about. Because honestly, I love a good murder mystery, so I'm down.
I mean, why not? It's a cool concept as well for a game that's like literally never had anything like it before.
Yeah.
Like, Sonic's always just been, we got to save the world from Eggman or something like that.
Yeah.
So having them really just flip Sonic on their head and have it totally different is cool. It's just interesting to see the character in a very different situation.
Totally.
Yeah. Finally, though, talking about another character which is in a very different situation to we've ever seen them before. Recently, Jenz, we've both seen it. We might give like a very, very limited spoiler-free take on it as well.
We'll do
but we've both watched the Super
spoiler-free.
Mario movie. And kind of as expected, it broke a bunch of records, basically. You could assume it was going to happen. It's
totally
Nintendo's arguably biggest IP. It's the most probably recognizable character in video games as a whole, I would say. Everyone knows Mario, everyone knows Luigi, everyone knows Bowser, everyone knows Peach. He's a staple basically these days. So it was probably expected this was going to happen, but in some more nitty-gritty details, the movie opened to $377 million. in worldwide box office returns, which has made it the largest worldwide opening of all time for an animated movie, surpassing the previous record holder, Frozen 2, at a measly $358 million. Which is kind of crazy, because if you also look at the list, like the top 5 highest opening animated movies of all time, at the moment now, Super Mario Bros. Movie is the top one, and then I think the next 4 were all Disney.
Oh,
It was like
really?
Frozen 2, it was Frozen. I think it was Toy Story 2 in there, and there was something else, which was like, they were all Disney properties. So it's very interesting that they have managed to surpass literally all of the Disney films.
Hmm.
As yeah, it's sitting up there. It's also currently the largest opening film at the box office this year, which is absolutely
Nice.
smashing the current record for Ant-Man and the Wasp, sitting at a very, very small, very pocketable $225 million. Again, another Disney property too. I think as well,
Hmm.
when I was writing this, I think it is currently also, as much as it is the largest opening film at the box office, my most favorite film this year that I've watched in cinemas.
This year in cinemas? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I would
I
think so,
think
because this
I
year
would agree. I'm just trying to
I
think
think I've
what.
seen Ant-Man. I haven't seen John Wick yet.
It's okay.
What else have I seen? What else? There's been a bunch of I've seen a couple of them. But for me, very much so, it is my favorite movie this year
How
so far.
good was it? Like,
So far.
non-spoiler. I
Non-spoiler,
know.
so don't fret. Yeah.
Yeah. I know a lot of there's a lot of skepticism, and I feel like like it wasn't rated very well at all for Rotten.
Okay, so I was a bit worried because
Same.
the what do you call it? Obviously holding my own little skepticism, because it is a video game movie and we all know
Yeah.
how video game movies go. But the day before release here in Australia, the embargo lifted for reviews. And I saw a lot of
Oh,
people
right.
talking about it on Twitter at how Rotten Tomatoes was sitting at like a 34% or something like that. And I was like,
Oh,
fuck, don't tell me. But as someone that has seen the film, as someone that is a Nintendo fanboy, I grew up with Nintendo. I grew up playing Mario.
yeah.
It's outstanding. I absolutely loved it. If you even in any way are interested in Mario,
Yeah.
go and see
Just
it,
watch it.
because it's great. Don't listen to the reviewers,
Yeah.
because what I found out is the reviewers are basically telling it like it's not a movie that has substance.
Yeah,
Which,
it's
yes,
like
it's not. It's a kids movie. Like it's
I think they're
ultimately it's a kid's
criticizing
movie,
like quote unquote plot. It's like, no, you go watch this movie for nostalgia and just
pretty much.
see these
Pretty much.
characters in action.
It's like I joke tweeted about it too, of like, I really wish the Mario movie went into more about the socioeconomic climate of the mushroom. Like, no one's going to watch the Mario movie to find out about the socioeconomic climate in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah,
They're going
yeah.
to see Mario once again try and save Princess Peach, and in this situation, Luigi from Bowser.
Yeah.
That's it. When they inevitably make a Mario movie 2, it's going to be the exact same thing again. It's just going to maybe have some slightly different characters, maybe in a slightly different universe. It's going to be the exact same thing again.
Yeah.
Nintendo, especially with the Mario, very much stick to what works every game. It's more or less the same thing in a slightly different way, which
So good.
you expect,
So
but
good.
it's an outstanding movie. I absolutely from the moment the movie started
Yeah.
and I saw the brand new
Yeah.
Nintendo films like sequence or whatever, like, yeah, you know how they had that like it was the 8-bit Mario and Luigi
Yep,
jumping
yep, yep,
across,
yep,
and then they jumped and they hit the block. Just from seeing that, I was like, fuck, okay, this means that Nintendo are now fully invested in making films, because
Yeah.
they've set up this whole studio basically. I was like, okay, great. From there till literally the last second I stepped out of the cinemas, I had a biggest grin on my face the entire
Same.
time.
It was so
Like,
good.
yeah.
I loved it.
I absolutely loved it. I don't want to go into too much because I fear that I will talk about spoilers, but if you've been playing Nintendo games for even longer than I have, go and see it, because even like other Nintendo properties made an appearance in the film that I was just like, oh, that's from that. I recognized that. I saw
Yeah.
him there. Like it was great. Yeah. It
Oh,
was great.
so good.
We might do a proper review of it in a week or two, though, once it has been out for a little bit and people have had the chance to see it and, all that sort of stuff, because it's well worth it.
Yeah. I hear the D&D movie is pretty good too.
I've heard the same thing as well.
So I'm curious to watch that one.
That I was very much a lot more skeptical about
Same.
than the Mario movie.
The
'Cause I was
trailer
like,
was
there's
not very
no
good.
way. I was like, yeah, there's no way that they can make a D&D movie good. Like, I'm sorry. It's just, I don't think it's a property
Yeah, I
that
just didn't
is
expect.
transferable to film. But yeah, I've had a lot of people tell me that they were actually relatively like happy with how it turned out. Like, even they said, even if you're not a big D&D person, which I think is what a lot of people were like probably not going to see it for, because they were like, oh, I've literally never played D&D in my life. I have no idea what it's about. Why would I go and
Yeah.
see a movie about it? They were like, even if you haven't played D&D or have no concept about what D&D is,
You'd
still
still-
watch it,
yeah.
because it doesn't really rely on that knowledge as much, you know?
Yeah.
It's still a fantasy adventure film at the end of the day, and that's what it is from start to finish. It obviously has D&D elements in it, but they're not as heavy-handed as what they could have been, I think.
Yeah, totally.
From what
Yeah,
I've heard.
I'm very
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to watching that and seeing what it's all about now.
Yeah, no, me too. Because I heard very good things about it, and I was like, okay, well, that's very surprising.
I also have
Very
one recommendation that I think you would really enjoy, the
Mm-hmm.
Tetris movie.
I've got it on my watch list.
Good.
Yeah, my Google TV recommended it to me. I knew it was coming out and things, but I've added it to the watch list. I'll sit down.
It's free
some
on Apple
point this
TV
week.
if you have that.
It's on Apple TV. Yeah. But no, I have seen little clips of it on TikTok as
It's
well.
so
Like, damn, that
good.
shit looks really good. Like,
It's so good. I didn't know the full story about Tetris and how it came about, and it's just such an interesting and really, really well put film that I highly recommend. And everyone watching.
I want to watch both that and the new Air Jordan movie about how.
Oh, I hear that's really
the first
good.
Air Jordan one, but I think I'm gonna wait for that to hit streaming because it's I think it's just in cinemas at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's an Amazon original if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
I could be very wrong. I'm not sure. I could be very
Wow,
wrong.
92%.
But yeah, I've heard that it's very good. And yeah, Amazon Studios distributed by. So it's I feel like it's gonna hit stream very soon. So that's why I'm waiting for it. But I've heard very good things about it. And I was very surprised when I saw the cast as well, because it's like a triple plus cast. So it's I do want to check that out, because there's so many biopics coming out. It's absolutely crazy. Can't keep up.
Yeah.
There's that. There's
Looking
John
forward to it.
Wick. There's a bunch of things that are coming out in the cinemas that I got to go see still.
I would say,
Yeah.
I don't know if you're a massive fan of John Wick, but it is long. It's 3 hours.
I know it's long. I got Emma to watch the first one because she was like, I don't know if I'm going to enjoy John Wick. And I was like, you're going to enjoy John Wick.
The action is good. The action is
'Cause
good. You don't watch it for the
That's what I
story.
want to see it for. No, that's what I'm going to see it for, is the action. It is probably, I told Emma, I was like, this is probably one of the best modern action films that has come out in I don't know how long.
I
Like,
would say
can't remember the
nobody
last-
is better than John Wick, though.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, okay, I was going to say, because I haven't seen that, but I was going to say, I can't remember the last time an action movie came out that was just an action movie. It wasn't like,
nobody
action fantasy
is
or like,
what an action movie should be. It is
but like, I
90
can't remember the
minutes
last time I
of
saw it.
just
I was like,
action.
damn. Yeah.
John Wick is 3 hours with action like dispersed. Like and like the action is impressive because he trains so hard for these films and it's really, really impressive. But it's
Have you
too
seen the
fucking
behind-the-scenes
long.
things?
Yeah, we had a look after we
It's-
watched this film.
It's stupid how much he goes into it.
Yeah. It's
Like-
crazy impressive for A, his age, but also B, he's just like each John Wick film, he steps up the action and they add another thing pretty much. And so
yeah.
the fourth one is like 1 + 2 + 3, and then an add-on into 4 in terms of action and like the stuff he works with. And it's really cool to see, but I feel like I personally would wait for streaming so I can like forward it and just watch action.
Yeah.
Honestly, the story
fair
does
enough.
not matter. It does
Fair
not
enough.
matter.
What about the crime families, Jens? What about
I
them?
don't care.
Want to know
I don't
who they're
care.
initiating. I want to know what they're about, what their motive is. I want to figure it all out, okay? I'm watching John
Did you
Wick
watch all of
Chapter
them?
4 like I'm watching The Godfather Part 2.
Did you
alright?
watch 1, 2, and 3?
I have. I've seen 1, 2, and 3. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe you'll like
Yeah.
it. I don't know. I just found
I
it
have
way
seen
too
it.
long.
Yeah.
I remember
Oh, it is. It's long. I
we
wasn't
didn't know
expecting
how
to
long it
be-
was, and we bought a 9
Yeah.
p.m. ticket,
Damn.
and we were like, fuck,
Yeah,
we're going to
okay.
go home at midnight.
Yep.
Like, this
See, they're
film ends at
literally-
midnight.
They're the movies that I like to go to the most, but only when it's like a 2-hour movie max. You know.
Yeah.
Because it's the ones that are pushing 3 hours.
Like-
you get out at like 12:30, 1 o'clock. By the
Yeah.
time the movie starts, you're out at 12:30, 1 o'clock. you
Yeah,
know?
totally. And it
Um,
needs to be worth it. And it was so. Oh, anyways, I won't complain.
Yeah.
But
No, it is. It's long because I was surprised as well. Because like I said, we just recently watched the first one, and I pulled it up. I think it's streaming on Stan at the moment, and I pulled it up, and it goes for an hour and a half or something like that.
that's what it should
Like
be.
I saw the runtime, and I was like, 90 minutes. Damn, that feels short. Like
2
you know,
hours
for
max.
movies these days. But it back then I think it wasn't as big of a property as what it
Yeah.
is now, so they didn't have as much time to fill it all with and things. But yeah,
Yeah. There is
3
a very
hours.
good payoff towards the end that was like, okay.
worth.
But yeah, I would wait for streaming personally, but
Yeah,
You
I
do
might
you.
do that honestly, because we've got Guardians next month now.
Oh,
I just
yes.
got tickets for that a couple of days ago. I almost forgot. So yeah, we got Guardians next month.
oh, when's that really cool movie coming out that we spoke about last year with the smoke movie poster? Oppenheimer?
Oppenheimer. Yeah, Oppenheimer comes out in like June or July. It's like the middle of this
Mid-year,
year.
right?
So it's still a
July.
month or two away. Yeah,
Oh, that's gonna be so good.
that's gonna be sick. I'm very excited to watch that. I still wish we had our IMAX theater open in Sydney because it's still being renovated after like 17
really?
years. It feels like.
Shame.
Because that would be epic to go and watch an IMAX. Because I
Yeah.
saw a little, again on TikTok, a little behind the scenes sort of hype
for
reel,
that
I guess,
one?
for Oppenheimer. And they were basically, he's using the same cameras that they used back in like the 1940s that filmed the first test runs of the nuclear bomb test explosion and things like that. So he's using the
Wow.
same cameras from way back then. He also forced IMAX to make a new IMAX standard so that he can film in that IMAX standard. Because IMAX cameras don't shoot in black and white. And he now has an IMAX camera that can shoot in black and white. Like
Damn.
he told them, he was like, I need this for creativity purposes. And they're like, okay, we'll see what we can do. And they developed an entire new camera, a entire new format, a whole, there's like, it just, even the nerdy cinema stuff behind the film itself is cool, you know?
That's awesome.
So yeah, I'm very excited.
I'm
for
so
that.
excited, man.
I literally I don't care about nuclear bombs. I don't care about world wars that much, but it just seems like a cool movie, you know?
Mm.
And having Nolan behind it, you can tell that the cinematography is going to be epic. So it's,
Yeah.
just
I've
watch
been
it for
getting
that.
slowly like new trailers for Spider-Verse, the new one.
Oh,
I haven't seen it.
I watched the first one. I haven't watched the second one because
Oh, okay.
it is just around the corner. Because that's again the other one was sort of, it's very much around the corner in the middle of the year. By God, I can't wait for that.
Oh my god, they're making a new Hachiko movie. Fuck.
I just got chills thinking about the Spider-Verse movie because
It's gonna be so good. It's gonna be such
gonna
a
be so
banger. Anyways,
I can't
we're
wait.
dragging this shit on.
we should probably end it here for the week before we just start talking about random films that we are interested in that are coming up. In the
I
next
wonder what
couple of months
happens if we
because-
just have a podcast where we just talk about
Oh, shit.
anything and then just see where we go.
That would be a nightmare to edit because it would go
Yes.
for about 4.5 hours.
Yeah, well, that's why you don't edit it.
About 4.5 hours. No,
Anyways,
no. But yeah. All right. We'll end it here for the week. Hopefully, we'll see you guys next week, unless we do come down with some sort of sickness in now and then. But knock on wood, that doesn't happen. But thank you guys for sticking with us. Thank you guys for watching. As always, thank you guys for listening. And we'll hopefully see you all next week. Bye-bye.
bye.